should we now consider this race as a condom budget versus Mabati Saga? I think should we consider it like that? Well, greetings to our viewers and welcome to Acholi Pro TV podcast. In this discussion, an open background, so the topic is just very clear. Talking about Norbert versus Anita. And with me here is Tony, who has just recently managed to become new councillor of Rum sub-county, a sub-county in Agao district. So, Tony, I welcome you to this. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you so much. I am doing well. The day it's good, and yeah, we are focused and we are alert.
You're looking nervous. Are you still scared that maybe your opponent is around the corner here?
Not really. I'm not scared of opponent, and I am not scared of anyone. I sent greetings to my dear friends outside and those viewing right now, and those who love this station and they follow us so much on TV always. And thank you so much for inviting me and being part of the show. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, this is a serious issue. It is a countrywide trending matter. Norbert has already clearly shown interest to contest as a Speaker of the 12th Parliament, which is building up. There has been a lot of talks in the media, but let's start from this point. Why do you think a speakership role deserves somebody who is competent, and why is the speakership role very important in the country?
Well, viewers, thank you so much. I have been introduced by my senior here. I'm Tony Owin, Honorable from Agago district and from sub-county, Rum sub-county. That's where I hail from, and also now the new councillor who is going to be representing Rum from now until 2031. I appreciate you so much. I've been seeing over the TV and I've been listening and also following up a lot of debates. Going back to your question, why speakership role very important, and why are people bidding for it so much? Thank you so much. I want to let you know that the speaker itself, or the position for the speakership, is a very big position in the country. And mainly they do a lot of things within the parliament. And to let you know, one of it is they make sure, or they always make sure that they control the parliament. That is one thing I know. And they make sure that they also decide on some few things, and also some other happenings within the parliament, and they are very crucial in the parliament and in the country. So this is one of the position that almost all the MP and everyone thinks they also can make it, and also they can also be part of it. Only that to make it easier, there are some other people who, yes, come for it, and it needs someone who is very competent. Like you say, why should somebody competent? I know all MPs and everyone will say I am very competent, and I can also do something better. I see the race have started, and the election is due, as it always happen. I see one of our greatest and one of our great leader from the north also vying for the position, which to me it's something which is very important.
Well,
yeah,
I think not to waste time. Let's start with Anita Among. What is the strength of Anita Among making it, or what advantage is Anita Among having over Mao to cling the speakership race?
Well, looking at Anita Among, who have been also in the same office, and she has worked from the time she has been given the opportunity, and we have seen her strength in how she has been managing the country and especially parliament from the time she has taken up the office. She has made a lot of remarkable and reputable things that the country have also seen, but also looking at where she comes from, there's a lot that she has made as a member of parliament, and she's also part of the government, and she knows the system in the government, and she has also been part of the government, and also many people have given her the opportunity to do the work of the speakership, which she has done. Trusting her, meaning the MPs have also understood her capability. Looking at the opportunity she has, like you have said it, one, she's also in the side of the government, and she's in the government, the ruling party, which I know the majority of the MPs who have gotten the opportunity to come back, and also the new one, will still trust her, because looking back and also the story and everything which have been making the headlines on TV and newspaper and wherever on the newspaper, she has been doing good job. I see that at this moment I cannot conclude that she's the best candidate to make it for speakership race. I know the other people who are still, names are still being put, and the people who are still bidding for this position, which I know to some extent, yeah, they will also come and sell their ideas, and also the MPs will buy their ideas, and also some other opportunity which will come in the middle. You'll see them in the race and decide. But I see her having a lot of opportunity and chances than other candidates who are still to be mentioned.
Well, since this is a podcast, let me have also an input to that. Anita Among, for me, I see she's having very narrow advantage over Norbert Mao, but very powerful advantage. One fact that we need to accept is, I can boldly say that the parliament of Uganda does not exist, because everything is almost decided in the NRM caucus. Now, the speakership race, since it's a game of the NRM now, not a game of the public, it is decided in the Central Executive Committee of the NRM, CEC. Among has been supporting a lot of members of parliament across the country, specifically by funding their campaigns, giving them financial support, and giving other people tasks that benefit them financially. For example, Col Anthony was assigned to handle the regional parliament held in Gulu, which turned out to be one of the biggest jokes. Up to now, we don't know what the country has benefited from that regional parliament, but it happened anyway, and Acoli benefited a lot financially. So I think these MPs are going to help Among in lobbying for the CEC's decision. But the CEC also receives decision from the president. And the decision of the president is made from a smaller table that we don't know. So that is the advantage that Among is having, because the majority people are going, the majority MPs, the NRM, are already on our side. Mao will start everything afresh. And now looking at the advantage of Norbert Mao, let me begin. We have this tool called the Memorandum of Understanding or the Cooperation Agreement, DP NRM Cooperation Agreement. Let's accept this. We hold on know the content of the agreement. I wish a concerned Ugandan, maybe from DP, NRM, or any other part, because it affects the country, that cooperation agreement affects, would have done some legal process to force that agreement to be publicized so that people know every part, chapters or clause of the agreement. But I have a feeling that what if speakership race or being a speaker was part of the bargain in the DP NRM cooperation agreement? We must remember, Jacob Ulanya came from UPC, Anita from FDC, and Mo is already having one leg into NRM coming from DP. So, to me also I see Mao's only advantage over Mo is if the cooperation agreement promised speakership. Secondly, Acholi voted massively for NRM. People should not misquote that I'm celebrating the massive vote that Acholi voted for Museveni, or that I'm talking again is that the point is Acholi voted hugely for President Museveni. And I think Mo could use that one as a bargain, as a big reward, asking, what are we voting you for if we cannot have influence in your system, in your government? So to me, I think that is the advantage that Mo is having, the strength on the side of Norbert Mao. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to bring this clearly that voting, and as the election has gone, you spoke about that cooperations that Norbert Mao and the DP had with NRM and President Museveni. I want to let you know that the speakership position is very. I still want to come back as Acholi and also as the region, Acholi region. We have had a lot of influence, and I want to let you know that this position is very crucial. That it can also make us bargain better with the government over issues which have been affecting the community at large. We have seen a lot of challenges that have come within the last 5 years and also 20 years. We have been in war issues. Right now we are healing. We are coming back from the trauma and so many things. But we have also seen the projects that come for the region. And there are so many projects that have come strategically and directly to the region, where if we have someone who can bargain for us in the parliament and can also decide. We have seen the last time we had Jacob Ulanya, there was a lot of things which were happening already in the government system. Now having Norbert Mao coming up now, looking at the opportunity he has, because you asked me the other time for Anita Mong, Norbert Mao have got so many opportunity in this government system that I think it will work out. It have worked out for him, looking at coming up from the background of the president of the DP party himself. And when you have during the time that Norbert Mao was on ground campaigning and telling the community of what is inspiring in the next government, they have been communicating a lot of things, and their sense, things which you have communicated have made sense. And to me, I think there's something that you have already mentioned that it's going to bind him and the ruling party. You know, coming up from the background of opposition and doing wonders have made him, first of all, is the constitutional minister. I mean, the justice and constitutional minister of the country, which I see that there's a lot of opportunities that you have seen in the regime he has worked with, where in the next government, I mean in the next position he's going to attain from the parliament, not because he wanted. You have heard him speak and he says people have been calling him, why don't you come for this position, for this race? And so many people have been calling him and making him know that we really want you to this position, simply because there's a lot that Norbert Mao can influence through this government, that he can bring it back to the region. So we just need that alliance, we just need that working together. We want to see what will come up. And now I want to also let you know that he has a lot of advantage, because one, via alliances and so many other things, he can do it. I have seen him does it to different regions, but also from your communication and supports that Anita Mong, the current speaker, had been doing a lot of support to other MPs.
Well, before I get to something more serious, let me bring something that may sound funny, but it is also very serious. Now, Norbert Mao has also some bad blood, and Anita Mong is also openly having bad blood. We can look at the example of what they did, which were not all that very good. For example, let's take a look at Norbert Mao's budget for Condom, that the judiciary should train their staffs, a lot of millions, hundreds of millions for judiciary to train their staffs on how to use condom, and the guy defended it. And also, when we take a look at Anita Mong, the iron sheet, the Mabati Saga,
Yes,
that is one of the most deadly things. Should we now consider this race as a condom budget versus Mabati Saga?
I think,
Should we consider it like that?
I think the country at large, and also the intention of this race, is not within what has happened in the last term, and what the history is all about. What this people.
So the people should not think about Mabati and
no. Right now, what I see in the country, and for us in the north, that all our MPs must understand this clearly, that they can be powerful in the country when they have a backup in the parliament. Look at our MP and the saga they had, maybe the Acholi parliamentary group, let me say that, and right now we are seeing the battle have started again. Who is supposed to?
Let's not deviate from the.
And I'm not deviating from that. I want to let you know that the speakership race is beyond the
Condom versus Mabati.
Yes, it's beyond that. To me, I think his intention of coming to the speakership race will make a lot of sense, that we shall have a lot of national, we shall have a lot of influence over the national budget for the region,
The so-called
and also imbalances and so many other things that will come.
Let's talk about neutrality between Anita Mong and Norbert Mao. Who would make a more neutral speaker? Of course, the world standard requires a speaker to be neutral in the parliament. So who would make a more neutral speaker?
I think Norbert Mao can make a neutral speakership. Why? Because, looking at the opportunity Anita already have in the SEC, and also looking at the national, the government, the ruling party which we have right now, there's a lot of influence or personal gain, and the protecting the gain. You know that thing, they already have it. That there's something.
So you mean Anita Mong would just go to protect?
Yeah, they will protect the game.
Now you say the Condom versus Mabati saga should be left out. So don't you think Mabati is part of the game?
Yes, perhaps it's part of the game.
So how do you say it does not affect the decision?
Okay, I am looking at the influence they have made in the past, which we have seen a lot of iron sheets getting lost and missing. This is also part of the game which I am talking about, which I say to make it neutral, we rather have someone who is new, not to the system. You already know the system, but they have also been working carefully with the system of the government which is there,
and that is
than having someone who already know the gains they have already made and they want to protect it. That's why I think Norbert will make a better.
We are going to an emotional part, sad part. Olanya Jacob, the late, may his soul rest in peace. Now this question goes to you about Anita Mong. Do you think Anita Mong was just lucky that Jacob Olanya died?
Okay.
Because according to the culture of that those of Museveni have made, speakers always take two terms. The way we are now seeing, the way we have been seeing, but Olanya was interrupted, I think, 1 or 2 years into the system. Do you think Anita Mong was just lucky?
Well, there's what we call natural death, and I'm
not saying
okay,
no, Anita Mong is the one who did something or what. No.
Politically, I want to let you know that there's nothing like it was an opportunity for her to become the speaker. But also then, I want to let you know that death comes naturally. Anything can happen. But also looking down, there are so many things which has happened. That is a natural thing, but it's also something that gives opportunity for someone to come into the position. So, looking at the speaker Anita Mong coming to this position, it have not come like for her to become the speaker.
So it was not luck.
No,
it was well not
luck. It was
now. Norbert Mao. He said that he is the closest friend to Jacob Olanya, even in death now. Do you think Norbert Mao will fulfill or will imitate the styles of Jacob Olanya?
Yeah, I think I want to drive you back to the scripture in the Bible which says that is Amos 3:3, which says 2 people can't work together unless they agree. This is a journey that Norbert Mao had with Jacob Olanya, including the Chief Justice now Owindolo at that time, which they were still in the system. They have been moving together. He's a blood brother, like they know how they have been doing their things, and I know it's hard to fulfill a vision that somebody have carried ahead, but also you can imitate and do almost exactly all the same thing, like Paul in the Bible. Paul says, imitate me as I imitate Christ. You'll do something closer to what you have done, which I see that in this speakership race, if he is to become, he will put one of the vision or some of the vision that Jacob was carrying ahead of him.
Let's talk about respect.
Yes.
Now, with this one, I mean international image. A Ugandan speaker is known to be having people who are controversial, people who don't care about their communication styles. But in Uganda here, we're used to the Rebecca Kadaga style, the Anita Mong style, and the rest. Do you think Norbert Mao will bring back respect, sanity on the world stage? When you talk about Uganda's speakership, you know, oh, that's a decent position. That is a clean position. Do you think Norbert Mao will clean that seat?
I think definitely. For his own record, you have seen some of the record you have made. There are so many things that you have done nationally that it have not been something which have cost Uganda headache, a lot of things. And I see that by giving him the position of the speakership, it will make him more better conformed.
Now, let me ask you.
Yes.
What if that style of being intellectual is the one which is not liked by Museveni or the CEC?
I told you earlier on that two cannot agree unless they cannot agree to work together unless they have agreed. This would have been seen long time ago. Why do you bring somebody closer to you? You have a cooperation with him, and yet you know there are some other side.
But you know Museveni via diplomacy. Unfortunately, we are not seeing his son. One of the most powerful diplomatic people or presidents is Museveni. Museveni did not overthrow, he calls it Bore, but to be very accurate, those of Ukelo Tito with guns alone. The most powerful tool was the diplomacy, calling for peace talks, even with coin, dialogues and the rest. Now, we are seeing the opposite in his son. What if it is just diplomacy, bring him all around and the rest to neutralize him, to neutralize DP? What if he doesn't like the trait of what we prefer to call respectable or the kind of a speaker that a child looks up to and say, if I grow up, I want to become the Speaker of Parliament? What if they don't like that trait? What if the CEC, or let me say the Central Authority, doesn't like such a kind of trait?
I think, the president is the chairman of the party. And I know the people who are surrounding him, who have made up the SEC, they might also have their own quality. Don't forget that the speaker who is currently in the office had been.
First of all, let me change the question.
Yeah,
the decision of the CEC. Do you think it's even about the quality or about loyalty?
You see.
Do you think about quality or loyalty?
I don't know what makes up their own or what they want to they want to see in a person they wanted, but what the chairman have seen in our local language, they said, if an elder has seen something ahead of you who is below him, the H and other thing, you might not see what he have seen. I know what the chairman have seen in an opposition have made him to understand and also brought him to an understanding of a quality of the person you want in that person. However much he would have said, please, why don't you come and make up the part of the and be part of the government? And you know, in the agreement might have spelled out what they have seen. Even when the CEC, I mean the Central Executive Committee have made up their mind, once the chairman have decided, I don't think they can go beyond the chairman, because now they might not need it, yes, but now if the chairman want it, will you bring your other thing and change everything? I think there's something, they must know that there's something which is glittering in this person that maybe the chairman have seen and some of them might have not seen. Politically and also in this movement, you remember what what Norbert Mao have always been saying before I entered into this agreement with them, which has also expired. That is with communication. I have made some other understanding and also made them to understand what I wanted. And that is one of the things that you made mention earlier. What if part of the agreement was this and that. Yeah, people will always communicate, people will always decide, but if you have a chairman that controls the system, you will still want the person.
Now the second last part, actually voting Museveni with high percentage back to back for the second time. Very big percentages. You look at opposition